49ers Ultimate Report. This is John Jay, your 49ers reporter, opinionist, analyst, and die-hard fan. Welcome to the 49ers Ultimate Report. This guy right here is John Jay, and I am doing a second live stream today. If you missed my first live stream, I was on with Jay in the Bay. After you watch this live stream, check that live stream out. Me and Jay in the Bay talked 49ers, Rams football. But I am doing my second live stream of the day, and I'm so excited to have this guest on. And we're just jump into it. You guys know who he is. He is now making his fourth appearance, the most in the 49ers Ultimate Report. What's up, Payo time?
Hey, man. Well, yeah, thanks for having me on. And I saw you have some guests that are catching up on me, so I had to come on and defend my title of the most invited guests on the 49ers Ultimate Report.
Yeah, right here. Payo time continues the lead and beating out all my other guests. But as I mentioned, it's always fun to have Payo time on this show because when me and Payo time are here, it is fun. I think it's the best blast. Me and him, and I've got to know you in a more personal level. I consider you a YouTube brother. It's hard for me to say that. So he's not just the fourth time guest, he's the YouTube brother of this channel. So I'm so glad and thrilled to be on with my boy, Payo time. Before we jump into the episode, I know everybody knows you already because you've been on here 4 times, but remind everybody one last time, and for all the new viewers of the 49ers Ultimate Report, let them know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. So again, my name is Payo Time, LA Rams YouTuber. You can find me on YouTube. If you put in Payo Time, I'm the first one that comes up. And yeah, I talk about mostly the Rams and just football. I like to say I'm having the most amount of fun on YouTube as anyone. Right now, I have a vlog series that's me talking. I'm pretty much hyping up every playoff game in the snow, which is kind of fun. And then, I have a watch party coming up for this game. So you don't have to be a Rams. Like, everyone's welcome to come to that. And we got a pretty cool community that just talks about the game. It is mostly Rams fans, but we have some Niner fans that come into my streams as well. I'd say that it's funny. Like, most of my subscribers are definitely Rams fan, but behind that, I have a substantial amount of 49ers and Cardinals fans as well that come on in. So I love it. I love it. And yeah, I'm just a dude that loves talking football.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for letting the fans know who you are. It's always fun having Payo time. But now you know what time it is. It's saying hello to those in the chat because this is a community channel. I love talking to this chat. We're going to start off with our boy, CG Ruthless Sports. How are you doing? My boy CG, he says, yo, of course, I like this guy, Kimbo. Let's go, 49er fans for life. 49er fans for life. What's up, Kimbo? I hope you're having a good day. Of course, Crazy Juice is always in the house. Sup, Crazy Juice? Niners all day. And of course, David, another great follower of mine. Dude, it's Niners all day. Niners all day. Looks like I have someone new into the chat.
I know who that is.
Oh, you know who this is?
Oh yeah.
It says Pure Adrienne. Oh, my bad. I am horrible with names.
No worries.
I want to say Adrienne Line.
Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I am horrible with names. I appreciate Payo time with the help.
No, he's a you should look him up. He's a great YouTuber. He does fantasy football content.
Yeah. All right, I will look up. Your boy. He says, "Hello, John Jay. What's up, Payo time? Shout out to one of Payo. If you're a friend of Payo, you're a friend of mine." Let's see. Nelson says, "What's up, Nelson?" He says, "Go Niners, bang bang, Niner gang, Niners all day." Shout out to my boy Nelson.
Hey, Nelson.
David says, "Payo time. If you were stranded." Okay, let me slow down. You were stranded on an island. Which player from the Rams would you like to have with you?
David, I love getting this question because David knows I love to ask these type of questions. So David, thank you so much. You made my day asking this question on stream. That's a really, really good question. There's so many good ones to pick from. I think I'm gonna say Andrew Whitworth. just because I think he could give me lots of life advice. He's 40 years old, and he's experienced. He's seen it all. And on top of that, if you follow his wife on Twitter, that woman would literally do anything to find him. So I know if we're stranded, we will be saved because Andrew Whitworth's wife is going to find us.
Mm-hmm. We have our boy, the Ramelia Sports Report. He says, "What's up, 49ers Ultimate Report, John J. My brother, Payo time. Shout out to
Ramelia.
Shout out to Rudy, who will also, spoiler alert, will be on my show tomorrow. So I cannot wait.
Don't miss that. That's gonna be the best. That's like one of the best Rams YouTubers you could collab with right there.
Yeah.
Ramulators, mount up.
All right. So I was with LA or Rams Insider, and I asked him this question. I'm going to start off with this. I have a lot to say about this topic, but I wanted to get your thoughts. So it was announced this week that Cooper Kupp won the PFWA Offensive Player of the Year award. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna let you go and get your thoughts on that story.
Yeah, I'm really excited about him. He had one of the best statistically one of the best seasons for a wide receiver. He was very consistent throughout the season. I know the 17th game, compared to other season, automatically gives him a little bit extra, but he can't do anything to control that. He didn't put the 17th game in; he just showed up for it, right? But yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. I am totally biased, but Cooper Kupp is my MVP. We can go into depths of whether the MVP is really the true MVP award because it normally always goes to a quarterback nowadays. But for me as a Rams fan, Cooper Kupp is absolutely my MVP. But I'm stoked he won, the PFWA Offensive Player of the Year. I think it's well deserved. And yeah, I'm stoked for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first of all, I want to say congratulations to Cooper Kupp. Doing what he did this season is not the most easiest thing to do. Mm-hmm. Of course, as you mentioned, the 17th game is not his fault. I'm still against that 17-game schedule. I will never accept that 17th game schedule, but that's what the NFL and the players voted for. So he still had a good year. I know he still was under 2,000 receiving yards. I think it's just going to be hard for any wide receiver to try to hit that milestone, 2,000 receiving yards in one season. Maybe if you add an 18th game, that will probably be 100%, true when it comes to getting 2,000 yards. But he was up there with Calvin Johnson. Will be remembered as one of the league leaders in receiving yards.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I have said, and a lot of people have criticized me. All these awards are more like a popularity contest award because they do not look at the body of work. They don't look at the players and what they have done. And I know this is going to sound very homerish for any Rams who are watching. He's not the Offensive Player of the Year. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. Deebo Samuel, number 2, Deebo Samuel, number 3, Deebo Samuel. What he did this year is he reimagined what the wide receiver position can be. And Kyle Shanahan, who's the wizard in calling plays, look what he did. He had 1,400 plus receiving yards. Yes, only 6 receiving touchdowns, but he had also, I think, about 300 to 400 rushing yards in only 8 games. So that is a real good accomplishment overall. He also had 8 rushing touchdowns and also a passing touchdown. Mm-hmm. The guy knows how to play football. And just like you said, the MVP is a quarterback award. They should just say who's the best quarterback award. Overall, I will never, ever say Cooper Kupp is a bad wide receiver. I've always said Cooper Kupp is a good wide receiver. Some people have told me, oh, if it wasn't for this year, he was always a below average receiver. I don't know why someone would say that, but as a 49er fan, he's always been consistent. But overall, congratulations to Cooper Kupp. But as a 49er fan, it really shows you the bias of how they award players when it comes to this. I do feel that he was more of an MVP type of candidate. But as you mentioned, but overall, I still would respect Cooper Kupp. He earned this award and he deserved it. So shout out to Cooper Kupp. But that's my opinion about that.
Yeah, and John Jay, like I totally, I've had this conversation with 49ers fans before, and I'm one of those mindset. I'm not much of a trash talker or someone who argues things like that. 49er fans, you play into your fan bias. You by all means you do it. I love watching Deebo Samuel play football. As a football fan, I'm a huge fan of him. For me, though, I'm gonna, in that same breath, I will sing Cooper Kupp's praises, from the rooftops. Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel absolutely are two fantastic football players. You can have that debate of, okay, who's better at route running, who's better out of the backfield. They both get used out of the backfield, and I'd probably give that edge to Deebo in a lot of ways. You can make the argument about who's better in the slot. I would probably give Kupp the edge in the slot, even though Deebo's great in the slot. Like, both players get moved all around in all of the positions. They know the entire route tree. The reality is, I also think that the nature of the Rams offense gave Cooper Kupp the ability to be a little more statistically, heavy as opposed to Deebo, because the Niners really use their zone run scheme a lot more than the Rams use their zone run scheme, even though it's similar but different. And so I think that, like, when you're looking at like the Triple Crown, like, that's a huge accomplishment, and that's why I would put Cooper Kupp as the offensive player of the year. But again, no disrespect to Deebo, and like your argument for him is very valid.
Yeah. I want to say what's up to Celts Chronicle. He says, "What's up, y'all? Faithful rise up," and looks like he agrees with me. Deebo, the real offensive player of the year. And now we got a Rams fan. The Ramilius Sports says Cooper Kupp finally getting his respects, and thank you, Matthew Stafford, for unlocking the monster wide receiver that is Cooper Kupp. And remember, NFL fans, in 2018 Super Bowl, the Rams didn't have Cooper Kupp at our disposal.
Absolutely.
Cool. Deebo is a beast. Appreciate that. But Cooper Kupp had a season for the ages. In the same breath has Bruce and Rice. Ooh, no.
Yeah.
No. Okay, now I have to disagree with somebody in the comments. Anyone who says Jerry Rice and a wide receiver, please don't do that, because I know it's biased. I could say maybe Isaac Bruce, he was a good wide receiver, but there's no gold standard. And I'm so glad the gold standard is the 49ers, but it's hard to put any type of conversation with the GOAT. The greatest football player is Jerry Rice. I know there are many great football players of all time, but there's a reason why Jerry Rice is one out of a million or a billion. So yeah, so I respect that from Ramilia Sports, but I disagree in the most respectful way, man. We have Edward saying, "Hey, Payo and John, here's to an epic game. I think we can agree. Winner of NFC Championship wins the Super Bowl." Ooh. So if you win, if your team wins, you guys are gonna win the Super Bowl. That's interesting.
We'll see. I have some thoughts about that. I think that if the Bengals somehow beat the Chiefs, which I'd get excited about, then that Bengals O-line against the pass rush of the Rams or the Niners, I just don't see it happening. But again, hey, any given Sunday, as they say. But I think that the Chiefs and the Niners, or the Chiefs and the Rams, that could be a good game. Either one.
All right, so yes, Kelt says, yeah, he says Cup Rice. Ooh, my lord, yeah, he agrees with me. Of course, Crazy Juice, his opinion, Deebo over Cup, and then Nelson is in the house. What's up, man? He says, "This is my opinion. Cooper is an elite player. Deebo is super elite player." I agree with that. That's some stuff. All right, let's move on to our next topic, and I want to get a Rams fan's opinion of their 2021 season. You guys finished 12-5. You lost your last game against the 49ers. Now you guys have a chance to redeem that week 18 loss by beating us. But what are your thoughts of this season? Tell us some pros, some cons, And what did you expect this team to finish? And did you think that this team was going to make it to the NFC Championship game?
I knew they had a shot at it. Honestly, like when we made fun fact. So this game's being played on January 30th, exactly 1 year from when the trade of Jared Goff and Matt Stafford happened, and I knew coming into it because we actually had besides that trade. We had a pretty quiet off season in regards to signing and stuff like that. Like we had a pretty good idea of what this team was going to be, like personnel wise. When the Akers injury happened, I knew that was going to hurt. There was a couple games this year I really wish we could have had Cam Akers in there for sure. But I am a big fan of what Darrell Henderson and what Sony Michel have done in the run game, so I can't complain. But I think that this season's been a lot of fun. And I said, pardon me for bragging a little bit. I was doing this with 49ers First Take yesterday. As a football fan, the Rams are a really fun team to cover. They make big moves. There's always something to talk about with them. We have a really entertaining locker room. We have some big personalities, and it's a fun team to cover. And I love what Cup has done, and I like every Rams fan, and even anyone who watches football knows Cooper Kupp's been a good wide receiver. He's just battled injuries here and there, but this season he definitely upped his game to another level, and that's been a fun thing to cover. A historic season for him. It's been fun to cover, this the additions of OBJ and Von Miller, just everything that's going on there. And yeah, I will celebrate this season. I enjoy it. Obviously, this is a team that had Super Bowl expectations from the very beginning of the season. You've heard and you've maybe seen the gift of all in around the Ramley, but it's really been a season that we had the 3-game losing streak, which was hard for sure, and not fun. And you don't want to see your team consistently lose like that. Like the Niners had a 4-game losing streak, and I saw all the Niners fans freaking out, being like, "Fire everyone!" Right? We live in such a reactionary society.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's been such a fun time. It really has been a fun season. I'm stoked that we're in the NFC Championship game. I'm hoping that we pull out the dub, obviously, and go to the Super Bowl. But we will just have to continue to go through the longest week ever until we get there.
I know, before the season started, basically the question was going to be the 49ers or the Los Angeles Rams, because I felt the Seahawks may decline to that number 3 position. Yeah. I still felt that probably for the first time in I think 5 or 6 seasons, there was going to be a division where they were going to have no a team with no losing records. That's what I thought. I still felt the Cardinals had a lot to prove. I had the Seahawks. The question was, where do I put the Rams and the Niners? So watching this season, it's really shown why you guys traded, your draft capital, why you moved away from Jared Goff and brought in Matthew Stafford. But overall, who would have thought the Niners would be the ones who would be having the battle till week 18 and beat you guys to get into the playoffs, and then winning 2 good games to have the rematch, round number 3 in the NFC Championship game. So I did not see the Rams. I thought the Rams would be first round exits, not because I'm picking on them, but I felt that the NFC was just too stacked. I felt that they were just too stacked with a lot of good teams, and overall, in my opinion, you guys have exceeded expectations, but that's just my opinions about that.
I have to just politely interject that I think our expectations, we haven't exceeded them yet. We expected to be here. That's why we made the trade. That's why we made all the big moves. And so it's not that we're underperforming, but we're at where the goal was to be. And the goal is to get to the Super Bowl and win it ideally. And so, but I totally understand, from your perspective. And a lot of people, I remember, people showing up in my live stream saying, "Oh, there's no way the Rams are beating the Cardinals. They're going to get smoked. Well, that didn't happen. Then I remember everyone on my videos and live stream, they were like, oh, there's no way they're beating the GOAT. They're beating Brady and the Bucks. Well, thankfully, it was a nail biter. We were able to do that. And this week, and you know this from being a NFL content creator, in the comment section, and they're like, there's no way your team is going to win this, right? And I'm hoping that the Rams win it.
Yeah. Crazy Juice said something very funny. I wanted to read it. The Rams better hide their bikes because Debo is coming to steal them all. I don't know if you ever watched that movie, but that's basically a reference for that. All right, and we have still some discussion over Jerry Rice, so I'll let them discuss the Jerry Rice situation. And let's see. All right, Nelson says worry about the Rams because last season Bucks won the Super Bowl in their stadium, and this year the bowl is in the Rams stadium. Okay, all right. Nelson also said 3 virtuous things that the Niners need to do in order to win. Execute, and the refs cannot intervene because we're executing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then Nelson brings up a little interesting point, though. I do know that coming into this game, the Niners are one of the most penalized teams, and the Rams are one of the least penalized teams. Is that something that concerns you at all coming into this game?
Not really. Like I'm a person who looks at it as the term is a funny term, the zebras. Don't let the zebras determine the game, which is the referees, because they're wearing the zebra colored shirts. But to be serious, do not let the referees determine the game. Play the football game. Get the first downs. If you're going, to the defense and they call that you stepped offsides, whatever the reason is, whatever, shake it off and focus on the next play. So I am not worried about if your team doesn't do no penalties or if your team does do 100 penalties. It doesn't really matter to me. Your team has to play to win the game. The Niners have to play to win the game. So that's how I see it. But yeah, penalties do hurt, but it's how you overcome those penalties. And against the Cowboys,
you pretty much won the game.
We won the game, but people say the referees cheated. Well, you guys had 14 penalties on the offensive line alone.
Yeah,
penalties on the defensive line. So, penalties hurt them because they were costing penalties almost every play. So, and then when we played against the Packers, even when we were out, where the season was going to end, the second the special team stepped up. No one gave the special teams any chance because they've ruined at least two games against our rivals, the Seahawks, and they stepped up. So play the game, play it, and see what the outcome is.
Hey, what's the name of the guy that blocked the punt and then got the touchdown?
Jordan Willis blocked the punt, and my boy from USC, I'm not a USC fan, but from USC, Talanoa Ufunga. And he's gonna be scaring all the Rams because he's a under the radar player, but he's gonna be terrorizing the Rams for many years. So I wanted to say that as a joke. All right. Let me read the Ramelia Sports. The Rams brought Matthew Stafford here for a reason. He's right on track, and even if we won the Super Bowl this year, we'll be back next year. We have a 2 to 3 year window Super Bowl, and again, not to be rude, but on my channel, I'm able to say I disagree with any comments, not to be disrespectful, but as I was saying to Jay in the Bay, there's a source that I have from the LA area who I get information from the Rams. They're in it for the next 2 years, not the next 3-4 years. So because Stafford, when his contract ends, it's like basically one more year after this year, he's gonna ask for a lot of money. Can you re-sign him? And he's going to be older. And also, I found out from your boy, I didn't know this, Rams insider, Odell Beckham, can they sign him? So there's going to be a lot of question marks after this season when it comes to the Rams. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm getting my information from this content creator who covers the team. So, yeah.
Well, and I would say that, like, it's tough to – in terms of a Super Bowl window, Absolutely. As long as you have a quarterback, you have a window, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if the Rams will absolutely have to do some contract negotiations. The one thing, and I'm not sure if you talked about this with the Rams Inside or not. One thing that the Rams have going for them that no one is talking about in regards to their cap situation, this offseason, we get so much dead money off of our books. We get most of the Goff money off. The Todd Gurley money is finally gone. The Brandon Cooks money is finally gone. All these contracts of just situations that didn't work out, the Rams paid out big money to. And it's one of my criticism of the Rams is sometimes they throw money around a little too easy sometimes. But at the same time, you like that they pay their players. It's going to free up a lot of cap space. We absolutely are going to have some negotiations to do, but something cool about the Rams is we've had Aaron Donald restructure his deal multiple times. Kupp has restructured his deal. Robert Woods has restructured. Whitworth, he took a pay cut to come back this year. And it's something that, like, not that I have the expectation as a fan that we're going to expect players to take these pay cuts, but the Rams do a really good job of, building their culture to be a Super Bowl winning culture where players are willing to, shoot their money forward into the next year and essentially renegotiate their contract into signing bonuses.
Kelt says Rams still need a decade more for being in LA for it to be a football town again. Legacy takes a while to grow until then it is Levi South. That joke continues to go on, and I like it, but that's because I'm a 49er. The Ramilia Sports, the Rams lost the last meeting, but make no mistake, the Rams have the game won. I got conservative with the 7 points and 2 minutes. The Rams improved big from the first meeting. Okay. All right. Make sure. All right. Yeah. All right. Here we go. David says, I am interested to see what the Rams do moving forward. Stars aren't getting younger, which is another factor, what I was told. And of course, shout out to my boy, Backwoods Bully. He's in the house. But the Rams have no draft picks.
Okay. That's not true. We do. We are projected to have 8 picks coming up into this draft, and we just don't have early round picks.
All right, let's talk about something a little bit more serious. You guys have played 2 games, just like the 49ers. I want to get your assessment and your grades and your overall assessment of the Rams playoffs. You guys played against the Cardinals. It was a blowout. It wasn't even a game to watch. Yeah. I had to turn it off. It was just that boring. And then you guys were playing a great game against the Buccaneers. And then so close. You guys could have barely lost. And one bad mistake. Yes, I know the X's and O's. Cooper Kupp got wide open because the safety ran down and not played back.
I love it.
But overall, let me just get your thoughts on these 2 games.
Yeah, hey, we won, and in the playoffs, you find, like, as of the Niners have been doing, you find a way to win, right? And so the Cardinals game, obviously, like, I have a hard time talking about it because, like, it just didn't, like, that's just sort of the narrative of the game. Stafford only had to throw 17 passes. Like, that's just sort of the narrative of that game. Where, hey, what's up? How's it going, Rams Insider? And then in regards to this game, the Rams were playing so dominant, so well, and then and again, Stafford played great the whole game, but just uncharacteristic fumbles that happen. I love the stat, like, I love it, but it horrifies me at the same time. It's the first time in NFL history a team has won a playoff game on the road while turning the ball over 4 times in the game, which I think is ridiculous. But credit to Stafford and Kupp in the Rams offense, where nothing was going right in the fourth quarter. Nothing was going right. Everything was going wrong. The Buccaneers tie up the game 27-27, and there's a lot of coaches that would have just taken it into overtime. They would have, they had their one timeout. And then Stafford, he almost fumbles it on that final drive, and that gave me a heart attack, but he recovered it. And then In our darkest hour, a hero arises, and Cup gets the first catch out of bounds, which was a really nice route on him. And then it's really interesting if you hear Cup break down the route after the game that was that big play where he talks it. He threw for what they call for love of the game route, and Stafford had the wherewithal to recognize the coverage and the mistake that the Bucs had made. And Cup was, only had one player guarding him, and he was able to get the step on him. Delivers a perfect pass into the breadbasket of Cup, sets him up, and then the Rams. And I was screaming. I uploaded a standalone video of me freaking out over the play on my watch party on my channel. I was like, down it, down, go. And you see him go up, and they down it, and then Matt Gay comes, kicks the field goal, and Rams are now in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Like in the first game you guys played against the Cardinals, for whatever the reason, I was looking at the numbers, I was looking at the analytical type of thing, and it said Cardinals were going to win that game. So I was looking at all that stuff. What happened was that I forgot Hopkins wasn't playing, and Kyler Murray just felt like he had no rhythm. Like I don't know what happened, but it shows you how the Cardinals are still an inexperienced team, and they need more time together to have that culture. So that's why it was a blowout. It wasn't even a fun game to talk about. Now, the play before, and I remember this, John Jay remembers everything. Matthew Stafford, for whatever the reason, I don't know if he was running or whatever the reason, he fell down and he fumbled the ball. The ball didn't like roll away from him. It stayed there. And if a defender was there more sooner, it would have been stolen. The game would have, changed, differently, because they would have been in, close to the red zone and field goal range. So then the next play, after I saw the replay, the safety actually, instead of playing, so I don't know what the free safety was doing. The free safety basically was going back, but then he saw something that let Cooper Kupp go deep. And Matthew Stafford, who is not, he's a smart dude. He saw that, aired it out there, and the safety was basically 5 yards away from the defender. And if that defender would have ran maybe 2 more yards forward, it would have been a touchdown. But he caught up to him inside the red zone. So just be to be 100%. That was a very, very lucky blown coverage. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm the X's and O's guys. I saw what I saw, but that is the Buccaneers' fault for not understanding, what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh yeah,
a strong safety, they can move up if they have to. A free safety is supposed to play back. That's why they're about 15 yards behind the ball for a reason. There's a reason why they're behind that for a reason. But overall, you guys did your job. You won your games. Now this is the game that's going to be the most important, and it's going to be probably the toughest game, because even though the Buccaneers have a better offense and the Cardinals, are a very inexperienced team, the 49ers are a different type of team.
Absolutely.
We're a divisional rival. We're playing at your home field, which will probably be more fans wearing the red and gold because of the situation that I'm not going to even bring up anymore. But at the end of the day, both teams are be under in a lot of pressure. So, that's what I wanted to say about those games.
No, that's fair. And I saw the question by Rams Insider about how the Rams win this game against the Niners. And as I've been looking at this game all kind of all week, I think it's going to be a tough challenge for the Rams, right? We have to prove that we can beat the Niners in order to make it to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big believer. Like Debo is going to do his thing. Debo Samuel. He'll do his thing. Mm-hmm. I think between Kittle, Ayuk, and Jennings, we got to stop 2 of those 3. We or like at least contain them, not let them have a big game. Mm-hmm. And I think that if the Rams can really force this game into a more of a high scoring affair, I think that does bode well for them. If it is going to be more of a ball control game, like if we play the Niners game, it's really hard to beat the Niners in that game, and that's just the reality of it. If the and even like if you look at the way the Rams run game is built, it's more of an east to west as opposed to a north and south like the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that, given your front seven, that an east and west zone run scheme matches up well with you guys. But I am optimistic. I believe in this team, the Rams. I think it's going to be a close game. I believe the Rams can beat the Niners, but I also believe the Niners can beat the Rams. And ultimately, it's going to come down to those, those 4 quarters or possibly beyond.
Yeah. I want to say hello to Anthony. He says, let's go Niners all day. Shout out to Jacob. He says, Jimmy when
That's funny.
Great. That's a great nickname. Shout out to
like
Anthony and Jacob. Let's see. Rams Insider, at least for me, if we win, Rams versus Chiefs. If we lose, Niners versus Chiefs rematch. That's a really good that's a really good those would be some good matchups. Yep. Kelt says it's truly amazing. It came down to the NFC West, as it should have, the toughest division in football with all the hype between the two games, between the two teams. It should be a great battle. I would call it. Yep,
absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see the best rival and the best new rivalry in football. But the Rams going to get some wins first. Okay.
Hey, why not start this week, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's read a few more comments. Let's see. The Remilia Sports at Rams Insider. The Rams showed last game they could move the ball up and down the field on the Niners and had the game. Now with Akers, IBJ fully implemented, the Rams will be a dangerous heading into the Super Bowl. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. David says we need Jimmy G to not be Jimmy INT. Yep.
He's my favorite version of Jimmy G. I wish he would show up.
Oh, no. He gives 49ers fans headaches. Crazy Jew says, don't forget my boy Elijah Mitchell. Yeah. Let's see. Mr. YTC is in the house, my Giants content creator. He sent me an Instagram a message that got me a little bit upset, but he's a Giants fan, so he's not supposed to like the Niners. Want to help your corners? 2 words: pass rush. So shout out to YTC. I want to get all these comments before we move on. Niners should stick to our game, run the ball, make some big chunk throws to demoralize the defense. A lot of pressure. YTC says this game is going to come down to 3 things: who can get to the quarterback, 2, win the TOP battle, and 3, who makes the least mistakes. True. The Remilia says Rams just need Jimmy to play like he played. Oh, wow.
Remilia.
All right. David says, Mr. YTC, what's up, buddy? All right. Jacob says, golfer. God, gonna choke. I think that's what. And then Stafford. Okay. All right. Tommy Huxley is in the house.
What's up, Tommy?
He says, aren't the Lambs playing with 2 backup safeties? That's a good question. Are they playing with 2 backup safeties?
We're still waiting to hear on the injury report. There's a chance that we get Taylor Rapp back for this. We did lose Jordan Fuller, unfortunately, who was our starting safety for he's out for the rest of the year. But the 2 safeties that have come in have played great. Especially Nick Scott. He had a fantastic game against the Buccaneers. So I don't know. I think we're doing good. But and Tommy, to answer, we're not sure if Taylor Rapp is playing yet. And even if he is healthy enough to play, I don't know if he's going to get his job back because Nick Scott's just been playing so well.
Yeah. Tommy, this is what he said. Jacob says, Gofford, 2 INTs, 1 fumble, 1 pick, pick 6, Niners win. Right. And then David says, whoever gets the most pressure on the quarterback will win the game. We should just run the ball 50 times. Yep. All right. All right. So now I'm going to also put this. You can ask your questions, but there's one more thing I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we go to the questions, the Niners 6-0 versus the Rams in the last 3 seasons. Will the Rams end the streak? So I've been asking everybody this question. I've been asking my boy Jerry. I've asked my boy Rams Insider. I've asked Jay in the Bay. I just want to know first, can the Rams end this streak? Because it's been said that the third game is more favorable to the team that lost 2 games in a row. But I've been looking up some numbers, and I've been actually been more positive that out of 21 matchups, uh, 14 of the teams that have won 2 games have won the third game. So it's a two-part question. Can the Rams end the streak? And do you believe in that that the third game goes to the team that loses the first 2 games?
So I'll start off with saying I do believe the Rams can defeat the streak. I am an advocate. Numbers, sure, like they're cool to look at, but they don't tell the full story. The reality is nothing that happened in any of those 6 games matters anymore. If you're a professional athlete, it better not matter anymore. You need to get it out of your head fast. And I'm a firm believer that the Rams come into this game. This is a different animal. It's an NFC title game. This isn't your divisional matchup in the season. This is a game to go to the Super Bowl. And if you're letting the outcomes of those past games affect this one, then you don't you shouldn't be playing. I'm a firm believer that sure you're going to watch the tape of those games and get footage because that's what you do in football. You know that. But I do believe the Rams can win this game. I think that it's a tough matchup for the Rams. And I think right now, the way the Niners have been playing, they've been a tough matchup for anyone. And I've heard it said that if when the Niners played the Cowboys, everyone was picking the Niners and to pull the upset. And then when they played the Packers, a lot of people were saying they were going to pull the upset, and they did. And now I'm hearing a lot of people, even though the Rams are favored by 3, which I hear so many people picking the Niners, and the Niners obviously they've gotten here, they deserve to be here. But I am optimistic that the Rams can do this.
I want to say hello to my boy Key on the Mic, a Chicago Bear podcast. I had him on my show when the Niners played the Bears. He's a really good dude. Shout out to Key on the Mic for tuning in. He says the Niners are a very tough team with a lot of success against the Rams, but the Rams have gotten better each week, especially Von Miller, OBJ. This is definitely a toss-up game. So shout out to you. I also want to say hello to a few people who are just joining us.
Absolutely.
First, let's say hello to Grand Dizer 12. I think that's how you pronounce it.
It's either Grandizer 12 or Grandizer 12. He's a fantastic person. He's a moderator for me. I'm a huge fan of him. But whose house? Rams house.
No, this is the 49ers Ultimate Report.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I couldn't resist.
Anyway, let's see. Jacob says, thanks for the shout out. And of course, I want to say hello to Reaper Cobra 96. What's up, my boy? He's a good fan of mine. Appreciate his support. He says the Rams beat the Buccaneers. The Rams beat the Buccaneers 3 times. Why can we not win 7 times? That's a really good question. All right. Let me also say hello to my boy J Mouse. I want to say hello to all the new people hopping on. I'm tired of these Rams fans thinking that they will win this game in a blowout. Shout out to him. Of course, YTC, Tommy Huxley. I'm getting so many comments, so I apologize if I can't read all of them.
Going off the charts.
Yeah, off the charts. Let's see. Let me say hello to Wanda. Wanda's in the house. How are you doing, Wanda? Do you think the Rams would have beaten Brady if he had a slot receiver or Godwin out there? That's a good question.
Yeah, I have one. It's a fantastic question. I have a hard time playing those what if scenarios, just because a team's approach to how they defend that offense would be very different if Godwin was out there. How they play, a certain coverage scheme, things like that. I do believe the Rams could have, but I also believe they could have lost as well. Like I'm not like I don't I live I very much I'm a fan that explores the gray areas. I'm not someone that's like, oh yeah, we're gonna guarantee this dub, right? I'm realistic, and I think that I'm optimistic but realistic as well. I think the Rams can win. I do. But I also think they can lose. I think I knew coming into the season though the Rams were going to win some games, and it doesn't shock me that they're here. I'm stoked that they're here, but it doesn't shock me that they're here in the NFC title game against the Niners of all teams.
Yeah, so I apologize. There's just so many questions that's filling up, so I may have to figure something out in the future. But thank you for all the new fans who hopped on and said hello. So yeah, now it's time for you guys to ask your question. And if you have any questions for Payo Time or myself, feel free to ask a question. But back to this notion, I had this conversation about 2 months ago with my NFL community, and I was saying that I was worried that if we had to play the Rams a third time, I was a little bit worried. But the way I've been watching the Rams, I don't know what's going on with the Rams. I don't know if it's being if they're jittery or it's like the first time together as a team or whatever the reason. But you saw in Week 18, and I'm going to call this out to the Rams fans who are watching. Touchdown, it's 17-0, and Sean McVay runs out. He should have been flagged. It shows you that McVay, cannot be doing that. You see Kyle Shanahan, he's losing. His quarterback is playing horrible. He comes back, he adjusts this, and you saw what we did. 24 unanswered points against the Rams. So it shows you that while the Rams have, a good momentum, they beat two teams overall. I'm not going to count out the 49ers, and this is not me being a homer, especially watching that Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you guys did not fumble the ball with 14 seconds before the half ended, that you guys could have had another touchdown. You guys came and scored it. It would have been 34-3. 34-3. In the playoffs, you cannot play that type of football. And even though you guys had a 17-point lead entering the half, Tom Brady against the Falcons, a few years earlier, was down 28-3, and he came.
It was 28-3.
Yeah. So it's a reminder that no matter what, it's still football, and the way you win football games in the playoffs, you run the ball, you run the football. So it doesn't matter how strong Matthew Stafford is. Yeah, your running backs this year, for whatever the reason, they were not a good running game, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's how I look at stuff. I'm very critical when it comes to stats. That's why I don't like stats. Stats are BS. It's how you play. But
I would disagree because I do want to I have to intervene and say in the month of December, Sony Michel actually led the NFL in rushing. So there were definitely some games that the Rams run game struggled at times. But overall, I am content with the season performance of our run game. And fumbles aside, Cam Akers actually looks really good running the ball. And it's amazing that he came back from an Achilles injury and is in the playoffs playing at a high level.
Shout out to my boy YTC. I thought he was just going to pop in for a little bit. You're blowing up big, man. Appreciate that. Not yet. I'm still not blowing up big very yet, but appreciate with the nice comments.
Remember to hit that like button, people.
All right. Oh, Corey Davis is in the house. My boy Corey Davis.
What's up, Corey?
You know who Corey Davis is, Payo Time?
I do. Huge fan of Corey Davis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Both of us. We're huge fans of Corey Davis. Yeah. I wish I was Corey Davis. He's so cool. He says, hello, John Jay and Payo Time. Shout out to my boy Corey Davis. Let's see. Grandizer. I'm sorry. Yeah. No. John Jay. Hey. You said you are talking.
Taking questions.
Yeah. Whose house is a legit? Okay. All right. Hold on. Whose house? This is John Jay's house. Featuring Payo Time. So yeah, it could be a bit of Rams house. So all right. Let's see. Let's look at this one. The Remilia Sports Report says Niners are tough, but I feel very confident about the game. Like I did versus the Cardinals. Our offense is gimlet. Man, I am not having
Chilling at the right time.
yeah at the right time. And Von Miller is back. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What did Tommy say? Can the Niners can the Niners stuff the run again? We are probably good at that. What do you think about Tommy Huxley's question? Do you think the Niners can stop the run?
Uh, yeah, like I have a different mindset. Like I believe this game is actually going to be a pretty high scoring game. And I believe that I do believe that the passing offenses will come alive in this game. Not saying it's going to be, the biggest shootout ever, but I do think it is going to be a higher scoring game. I think that both run, like, I think the Niners obviously will lean on the run more than the Rams do, but I do believe the Rams will be able to run the ball more effectively than they have in the past, just because we are getting Henderson back. We're going to have Akers and we're going to have Michelle. We're going to have our full complement of running backs, which is something we haven't had for a single game this year.
Shout out to my boy David. David with the super chat. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate that. If you want to help the channel, if you want to donate to the channel, you don't have to give like David. There are a lot of 99-cent super stickers, $2 little super chats with 50 letter characters to help you save money. Like I said, I'm not here to, ask for any donations, but for those who donate, just like David, I really appreciate. David says, whose house every NFL stadium is our house. Go Niners. And that's sort of true. Like every game this year, I've seen more 49er fans than the opposing team. So I have to say that. And then Jacob says something very, very, I really agree. Niners build a culture. Rams taking the easy way out, win players that don't know each other. Wow. All right.
I completely disagree with that, Jacob.
Let's move away. And shout out to my boy TRL. And TRL probably does not like your shirt because he's a Cardinals fan. And I remember I was watching the game with him on his channel, and he was not happy that that happened. But what is up, TRL? How are you doing? All right. Let's see. Let's look for some questions. Oh, I'm not going to read everything. All right. Oh, here we go. Mr. YTC, bigger question is, can either team stop Cooper Kupp and OBJ or Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk? Let me ask you this question. This is a very interesting question.
Well, yeah, as I said before, I think that Deebo does his thing. I do believe Ayuk you can cover Ayuk. He obviously has a big play potential, but I think that we can do that. It's gonna be a challenge. Like, it's not gonna be easy by any means. But I do believe we have the personnel to do it. I would say Kittle concerns me more than Ayuk does coming into this game. Obviously, both threats, but to me, if Kittle, if Kittle gets going, that's when the Niners are truly at their most dangerous. Deebo is going to be Deebo. We know that, but Kittle, for some reason, it seems like he gets used a lot more in blocking schemes than he does in the pass game at times. And I'm pretty sure that frustrates Niners fans some games. But as for OBJ and Kupp, recently the Rams have been doing a lot of getting OBJ involved early, and then Kupp kind of comes in mid-game to late and kind of goes off. So we'll be interested to see if that kind of stays the formula. But really, OBJ seems to be used recently a little bit more in the red zone than Kupp does. But I think they're dangerous players that the Niners obviously got to plan for.
Yeah, that question is a really, really good question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good question. Let me put this one up here, but let me answer the question before I read this one. I do believe that the way our offense is built is not built for us having both wide receivers going deep. It probably works with the Rams a little bit more better, but the way we win football games. So I do believe the Niners will find a way. And as I said it, I think earlier on Jay and the Bay Show, I think K1 is going to be the primary guy who has to get Cooper Cup because he does a lot of slants. He's a slot receiver, things like that. So you have a slot corner, slot receiver. So that's going to be in the matchup. When it comes to Odell Beckham, I personally don't think he's that same wide receiver he used to be. But I think the way to stop him is when you guys are in the red zone because he has a bunch of touchdowns in the red zone. But he has not been a guy who you can consistently say he's going to be very dangerous. But in the last play, like Odell Beckham overran his route, and Ambry Thomas was at the right spot. And after Odell Beckham saw the interception, he walked off the field. Tackle him, try to force the fumble, things like that. He walked off after the field. That was, in my opinion, if I was a coach, I would have saw that. Nah, dude, no, you're in trouble. I'm going to suspend you one day during this week because you need to go try to knock the ball out of his. And that's what happened. I don't know why he gave up on the play, but that's just what I saw. So that's my opinion. Here's a question, John J. 3 keys to bearing the Rams.
I think he means beating the Rams.
Oh, yeah, beating the Rams. Payo, 3 keys to beating the 49ers. Thanks for taking my question. All right. Okay, I'll go first. 3 keys to beat the Rams. Run the football. Play action on the offense. That's one key. Defensive line play going to come down to Nick Bosa, which will really help out that defensive line. Go after the runners on the pass, on the pass rush. Get after Goff, and of course, how our linebackers play. So those are some keys for the 49ers to win. What are keys that the Rams have to do to beat us?
Yeah, so I'll stick with I continue to say between Ayuk, Kittle, and Jennings, we got to limit 2 of them. And then for my second key, I think make Jimmy G a big part of this game. We don't want another one of these 44 rushes games, right? And then I would say number 3, Sean McVay and Raheem Morris got to coach to the high level that they can. They've been doing pretty good recently. And I think in terms of game planning against Tampa, they had a great game plan, and the Cardinals the same way. And they kind of got to go in and they got to have a game plan to beat this Niners team and execute it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So we have another question, John J. question. Do you think the Niners' luck will run out on Sunday? Meaning it took 17 game schedule for them to make the playoffs. It took 2 block kicks to beat the Packers without a touchdown. Well, this is one thing about the X's and O's. I'm probably one of the very rare fans who actually can say that football is 3 aspects: offense, defense, and special teams. So the special teams can play horrible, but if your defense and offense is playing really well, that's a plus. If your defense is playing horribly, but the special teams is blocking punts and giving the offense good position, the offense, help the special teams, it's win-win. Of course, the offense was really horrible, but what did Aaron Rodgers do in that game? Nothing. What did the defense do to Aaron Rodgers? A lot of bad plays. They were not able to go down the field. So when I look at this question, yes, it took us 17 games to make the playoffs. Why? Because earlier in the year we started 3-5. We had to crawl back just to get back in the playoffs. And overall, looking at what I've seen unbiasedly, the Rams don't scare me because what I see in the film. Now I'm going to talk about the film because I'm getting a lot of comments. So I'm missing a lot of comments, but I have to say this. Looking at the film said the Rams in the second half played so bad while the Buccaneers offense was playing even horrible. That's what the film says. The Niners are not going to do that. Our defense is going to be consistent, but our offense, even though we have a quarterback with a broken finger and a bad shoulder, and you have a wide receiver that has been kicking all the butts of other defenses, why should I not believe that the Niners are going to find a way to win the game? So even though you're a Rams fan, you believe your team's going to win, beat us, punch us in the mouth, get up to us, beat us the old school style football. Because if Matthew Stafford's going to be throwing a lot of those deep stuff, our secondary has got better. The way you win football games is running the ball. Until I see the Rams run the ball and beat us, running 30 times in the first half, and in 20 times in the second half, beat us like that. We have two players, a running back, a rookie running back, in the sixth round, and also a wide receiver who's playing running backs. So just understand those facts. So that's how I answer that question. Yep. All right. Let's go back to the comments. All right. Let's find some questions. All right. All right. I already read that. All right. Let's see. And I got so many comments, so hold on.
Blowing up. Let's go. Way to go, chat.
Hey.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to 49ers Ultimate Report.
All right. Making sure. Let's see. Oh, here we go. A question for Payo. Payo question. Since your mod deleted my comment, when was the last time you guys beat the Packers at Lambeau Field?
Tommy, first, I apologize for that. A lot of my moderators, I have some great ones. I do have some younger moderators that are learning how to mod correctly. I'm learning how to have mods. I don't know. Have you had mods for a while?
I just started adding mods recently because I've been getting a lot of these little bot accounts that have been
Same with me. Same with you. So Tommy, please accept my humblest apologies and forgive me and my mods. I know Goff went in there once. I want to say that was 2017. Might have been 2018. I'd have to look it up. It had not at and it wasn't in the cold season. And I'll share with you a little bit. I was talking about this with 49ers 49ers first takes yesterday. Is there was a part of me that really wanted the Green Bay Packers to win, because if the Rams played them, I had this video planned out of I was going to go because I live in Canada where there's a ton of snow right now. And I was going to make a hilarious video about how the Rams can play in the snow. And I was going to tackle a snowman with a football and everything. But now I can't make that video because, the Niners just ruined all my plans. So,
yeah. All right.
Sorry, Tommy. I have to look back. Yeah.
Celts Chronicle says X Factor players on both sides, not just stats X Factor, surprised moment X factors like Willis Ufunga, for example. I say Juice could have a moment. So what are some X factors that besides of course Goff, Cooper Kupp, and then of Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, some X factors who are not the big stars?
Yeah, I really think that two receivers, one on the Niners, one on the Rams, that don't necessarily get a lot of love is Van Jefferson for the Rams and Juwan Jennings for the Niners. I think those two guys could be X factors in this game that aren't necessarily the big names, but they can do it. For the Rams though specifically, I do think that having our full stable of running backs for once is an X factor, just because we don't really know what that looks like. We haven't had it this year. Having Akers, Henderson, and Michelle all in the same game is kind of weird to me. But I'm excited for it. And I there's a chance that we don't see Henderson at all. But then there's a chance that we see like a split between Henderson and Akers. But then there's a chance that we see Michelle and Akers, or Michelle. I do believe Akers will be kind of the feature back or the lead back in a lot of ways, but it's just sort of one of those things that, oh, thanks, Tommy. It's one of those things that I'm curious as a fan who really has no clue what they're going to look like in this game.
Yeah. So yeah, Tommy says, thank you for the apology. Yep. There we go. Hey. And the only reason why I have those mods is because of those accounts that put websites that are not acceptable on this channel. That's why, I have it. But I don't really like to give mods. But if it wasn't for that situation, so I've given up a bunch of mods to people who I know personally, and I've been on their channels because I know them very well. But overall, Yeah, anyway, let's continue talking football. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, let me ask this question. I'm gonna do this tomorrow on my show,
Okay.
but I don't know if you want to do a score prediction. It doesn't have to be a score prediction, but what do you predict is going to happen in this game? You don't have to say who's going to win or what the score is going to be, but any type of predictions, or if you want to do a score prediction, feel free.
So I think this when I give a score prediction, I like to talk about what I think the flow of the game is going to be. And you got to shout out Corey Davis for there first.
Okay.
The super chat.
Yeah, I just saw it right now. Corey Davis. I saw a video about the NFL being rigged. They tell the referees which team they need to help to win. They say the refs are going to help the Rams win. Whoa. All right, Corey Davis, first of all, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And I hope that's not the case. So, but thank you for the super chat. Let's not even go there. But what were you going to say before Corey?
So I like to always give what I think the flow of this game is going to be, and I actually think it's going to be a pretty mistake free game. I think both teams are going to show up and play their best game. I think Jimmy G is actually going to have a good game, and I think that there's going to be some surprises. I do think there's going to be one mistake that gets escalated, because in playoff football, there's always that one mistake that just seems to escalate everything. Even though you can backtrack in the game and find other spots that things went wrong. But I do think that the Rams are going to win this game of a score of 37-34. But I'm often wrong with prediction scores. Yeah. But now let me say this. I predict the Rams win every game just because I'm a Rams fan. And I've been right, 14 times this season with the playoffs and the there. So,
all right. So before I read this question, all I'm going to say is this: my prediction in this game is that I think McVay is going to go very conservative in the first half. I don't think after week 10, where he was just airing it out, throwing it, when he tried to do that fake field goal for a touchdown, that didn't work. And then, of course, they came out strong. I think he's going to be very conservative in the first half. I think if the Rams win the coin toss, we're going to give it to the Niners so they can have momentum in the second half. They're going to be very conservative. On the Niners side, what I see is the same thing. I think Kyle is going to open up the passing game early in the first 3 drives to get you guys out of sync, and then later in the game, be more conservative and run the football. I'm not going to give a prediction, but I do feel that this game is probably going to come down to whoever has the ball last. And what Jimmy Garoppolo did in the last game, I think he could do it again. Matthew Stafford, what he did against the Buccaneers, I think he can do it again. Yep. I think it's not going to go a score over 28 points. It's going to be around, I'm not going to give a winner, but I think the score could be 26 to 24.
Okay.
But that's just all I'm going to say about that when it comes to that prediction. But I think it's going to be both teams are going to be very smart. They're not going to be very aggressive. All right, let's look at this question. Question for both John Jay and Payo Time. How long have you been fans? What made you become fans of the respective teams? How many jerseys do you own? So I'm going to go first. I grew up in the city of San Francisco, where the Niners used to play in San Francisco. Now they play in Santa Clara. I've lived in the Bay Area my whole life. I've been surrounded with Raider fans and 49er fans. My family, all my friends supported the red and gold. So, I basically follow the teams that they did. They love the Giants. They love the Warriors. So those are the teams, the Bay Area teams. I like the Raiders a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of the Raiders. But I've been a fan since when I was 5, where I can actually barely remember Steve Young, Jerry Rice against the Chargers in the Super Bowl. So I remember those days. So I do not own jerseys. I'm not like 49er fans that have like 20 jerseys and in the collectibles. I grew up a little bit poorer than most people in the Bay Area. So my very first jersey ever was a donated rag down John Taylor jersey. I wore that until it was ripping apart, and then you couldn't wear it no more. So that's probably the only time I had a jersey. I was able to buy my first jersey, the 2007 season, the Patrick Willis jersey. I don't have it anymore, but that's to answer your question. All right. Pale Time, do you want to answer the question also?
Yeah, for me it was the year 1999 when I saw the Rams win the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner, Torrey Holt, Ozzie Bruce, Marshall Faulk, and the greatest show on turf offense. My older brother, actually, he is a huge 49ers fan, and he did not like the Rams, and I chose them to be my team. But my brother, he instilled upon me the values. He said, you know, when you pick a team, they're your team for life. You don't want to be always jumping a bandwagon to bandwagon, right? And so I picked the Rams, and I've stuck with them through the highs and lows. As for jerseys, I have one jersey. I also grew up in, not the most wealthiest background.
Yeah.
But one day, my dad found a Marshall Faulk jersey at a thrift store, and he was able to buy it for me. Hey, Niners sickness.
What's up, Niners sickness? He says, "What's up, faithful?" All right.
So yeah, that's was there another part of that question? I forgot.
I think it's just asking, how we became fans,
Okay,
and
cool.
then our jerseys, and we own anything. Kelt says, "Will Brunskill dominate Aaron Donald once again and make him see Uncle Devo?" Yes, this is the thing that I've spoken on other roundtable shows with other Rams content creators who are a little bit more disrespectful. But this is something that I want to ask you now, because I don't know if I asked you the last time. The Brunskill, for whatever the reason, Brunskill is like just a little bit under average, overall as an offensive line. But when it comes to Aaron Donald, do you think Aaron Donald just has issues dealing with Brunskills?
I honestly think it's like, because Brunskill, for whatever reason, this is like the one game every year he prepares for for whatever reason. I also do think it's like, I like to give credit to the whole Niners O-line, and also, Kyle Shanahan and the Niners coaching staff. They game plan for Donald probably better than anyone. But I am optimistic that, Aaron Donald can collapse that pocket. He may not get a sack, but he'll be a factor for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So David says he's been a fan since 1986. Oh man, he goes way back, way before me, way before me. All right, let's see. All right. So, all right. Cool. Niner Sickness says, "I'm so excited for this game, but nervous. Also, ha. Regards. Who wins on Sunday? Both teams deserve to be in the championship."
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. All right. The Rebelia Sports says, "That is wise. Take no man, including Brunskill, can stop Darnold man to man. Brunskill gets help, makes no mistakes. Brunskill was there when Darnold got 4 sacks in one game versus the Niners." Yes. Okay. Anyway, but in the recent years, Brunskill has been dominating Aaron Donald. So that's about it. All right. We've gone past into the 115-minute mark, 1 hour, 15-minute mark. Thank you for all the great turnout. So many questions. Wow.
Yeah,
I apologize for not being all the questions. But
please applaud the chat.
Yes, applaud the Chad. Yeah, thank you very much, Chad. Yeah. Shout out to Payo Time. That's why I like having Payo Time. Always bright, always, bringing, happiness to the channel, even when we have a lot of jokers in the chat. But that's what the chat is there for, to let people feel free to let their opinions be heard, even though some of the opinions I did not like, but everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But before we go, just like we always do, the tradition on the channel, Payo Time, one last time, let them know who you are, where they can find you, also your social media, so they can find you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on, John Jay. Always a pleasure. And yeah, you find me on YouTube. If you put in Payo Time, just like right here, what it says, Payo Time. I'm the first one that comes up if you put me in the search. And yeah, I talk about the Rams mostly. I talk about football. I like to say I'm just a dude on YouTube having as much fun as possible. And yeah, right now I got a vlog series where it's just me in the snow talking about how hyped I am for this game, and people keep watching it for some reason. And then I'll be doing a watch party for the game, which whether you're a Niners fan or a Rams fan or any fan, feel free to come to the watch party and check in. I do my best to engage with the comment section during the game. And we have a pretty respectful community there, and so if you like talking football in a genuine, intelligent way, we'd love to have you a part of it. Oh, John J, I can't hear you.
Yeah, StreamYard does that sometimes. I wanted to say before I go, I want to say a shout out to Don Lovato. Hey Rudy, are you going to the game? Oh, so he's asking if his boy Rudy's going to go to the game. Of course, Nick Bosa. All right. Okay. And I want to say to your follower, thanks for taking my questions. Good luck to your respectable teams. Yep. Shout out to this guy. I think we took 3 questions from him. So shout out to him.
Oh, Grandizer's the best. Yeah, he's great at questions.
Yeah. Anyway, so with that said, everybody, I'm John Jay, the guy over here. This is Payo time. He likes the Rams. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, but I like the 49ers, best team in the NFL. Hopefully, after the game, we say Super Bowl bound. We'll see what happens. But with that said, everybody, I'm John Jay with Payo Time, and this is the 49ers Ultimate Report. You guys have a rest of your day, wherever you are, rest of your night, and go 49ers. Let's go to the Super Bowl. Go